In this video, I'll show you how to take complete control of your Webflow site by setting up a reverse proxy through Cloudflare. Even if you're a beginner to Cloudflare, I'll cover through each step you need to take. We'll look at things like how to render out all the items in our collection list instead of just only the first 100, how to do things like have our CSS and JavaScript automatically moved out of our component into the right place, how to do things like change text, and all of this right from the server without any flicker. So even if a user has JavaScript disabled, all our elements are rendered out in the correct place we want, and we can take full control of our Webflow site. To get started, create a free account on cloudflare.com, head to the Domains tab, and click Onboard a Domain. From here, we'll paste in our domain. Since this domain is already live, I'm going to scan the existing DNS to bring it into Cloudflare, and I won't block the site from being crawled by AI. We'll hit continue, and from here it's going to ask us to choose a plan. In this case, the only plan I need is the free one. This works perfectly fine, so I'll select that one here, and then it's going to scan my DNS. Now, I purchased this domain and hosting plan just for this tutorial. I'm going to pull it all down before the video goes live, and that way you can get a good idea of how the DNS is all set up here. And so here it's just scanning that DNS for me, and we'll see what it pulls. So one thing you'll want to note is that if there's any DNS records that are missing, just to add those records in here so we can compare that against the DNS settings from our previous provider here. And that all looks good to me, so I'm going to leave that proxied, and then we'll click continue to activation. Now from here, we're going to copy these name servers, and you'll need to go wherever you purchase your domain from. In this case, mine's GoDaddy. I'll head over to name servers, and I'll click change name servers. From here, we'll use our own. I'll paste this in, and I'll copy over the second one here, and we'll go ahead and paste that one in here as well. And then we'll go ahead and hit save. And from there, we'll let that load. We'll hit continue. And now we'll just need to wait for those to update. I'll scroll down to the bottom and I'll click I've updated my name servers. And then from here, we'll just wait for those to update. You can hit this check now button to see when they're actually live. Now, in most cases, this would be all you need to do, but if we want to change our website before it reaches the user, like update the HTML, for that, we're going to need a reverse proxy. And usually with that, I like to use a subdomain of the main site. So we will need a different domain. So what I'm going to do here in Webflow is just manually add a domain here. We can use any subdomain we'd like. I'm going to call this proxy.mywebsite, and I'll go ahead and add that domain here. Now it's going to give us some settings that we need to add. So what I'll do here is click this DNS records, and in here, we're just going to add a record here, and we're looking for a TXT record, and we'll go ahead and copy this. That includes our subdomain, and then we'll go ahead and copy the value here, and we'll paste that in there, and we'll go ahead and hit save, and then we'll go ahead and add another record, and this one's going to be a CNAME. And we'll go ahead and copy the value, which is just the name is just our subdomain. And then the value right here, we'll copy that and paste that in. Now, for me personally, I've needed to turn proxy off here so that Webflow can actually generate the correct SSL certificate. So I'm going to leave that turned off, and then I'll go ahead and save. And it can take some time for Webflow to register this update. I'm going to click verify domain, and it looks like it has actually come through. So then what I'm going to want to do is remove the other domains. So I'm just going to click remove domain off this and remove domain for the other one. And we're only going to leave the subdomain. And as soon as that SSL certificate is generated for that subdomain, we'll go ahead and republish our site to that subdomain there. So I'm removing the main domain here and just leaving the subdomain. Sometimes you will need to wait for, I'll make this the default while we're waiting. If we go back here, if we go back to our domains here, sometimes you'll need to wait for the name servers to actually be the latest versions to be detected by Cloudflare. So we'll just wait for that. And then as soon as that SSL is ready, we'll go ahead and republish our Webflow site. So now that our name servers are in, I'm going to head to the compute tab, and I'll click on the workers and pages, and then we'll hit create application up here, and we'll select start with hello world. And I'm going to call this worker my proxy, and I'll hit deploy. And from here, I'll link this Notion in the description below with some couple code examples we can use. We'll start with a simple one where we just replace the text of a heading. So I'm going to copy this code here, and I'll go ahead and edit the code for my worker here. And I'll select all the existing code and delete, and I'll just paste in my new code here. And be sure to replace this domain with the actual subdomain that you're using here. So this is using HTML rewriter, which is something Cloudflare offers to allow us to edit our HTML. So here I'm taking the H1 and I'm updating its text to say this is a test. So I'm going to deploy this worker here. And then we need to make sure that whenever it fetches our subdomain, this is the unedited version, straight from Webflow, that we make these updates and then we push it to our main domain. This is what we want the website user to see. So we're going to go back to proxy and we're going to go to the domains tab. We're going to click on this domain here, and we're going to head over to our worker routes here, and we'll go ahead and just add a new route here. And this is going to be this website. So /*. That means it can grab any pages within this website, and we're going to connect it to our proxy worker, and we'll hit save. And then we also want to do the same for the www. So we'll add route, and that way this version works as well. www. Our website /*, and connect it to the same sort of proxy worker. And so now if we save this and we head over to our actual site, so I'll go ahead and do the church international online. So this is the main site here. And if I pull that up, notice how the heading is instantly the right way with no flicker on page load based on the updates we actually made. So let's go to a little bit more detailed of an example. So here I have this collection list, and I want to show all of the collection items, not just the first 100. And it really freezes up usually on page load because it's trying to load in those items. See, I'm trying to scroll and it just wouldn't let me scroll for a while. And so what we want to do is that even if the user has JavaScript disabled or they're on a slow connection, that we're serving them all the items up right from the start instead of it having to be fetched on their end. So if I head over to the Notion again, we'll go to this display all collection items example. I'm just going to copy this and we'll head back over to our actual worker. So if I go back into compute workers here, we open our proxy. I'm just going to edit code, and I'll go ahead and just delete all the code we had before and paste in the new one, while also being sure that we have the correct subdomain here, and we'll go ahead and deploy. So any edits that you would like it to make, you can work with an AI like Claude to get those edits working well. But now that we have that deployed, what we should notice is that if I refresh this, let's go ahead and just, sometimes we have to do a hard refresh, Command-Shift-R. We should be able to have all of those items pulled in. So now it's not updating the text, and all of the items are pulled in by default. So even if I were to inspect here, and let's go to console, let's do Command-Shift-P. Let's disable JavaScript. So I'll go ahead and do that here. So, and then I can refresh. So even if I have JavaScript disabled, if I scroll down here, we'll notice that it's pulling in all of the items way past the initial 100. And so I can use that on any collection list by just attaching that data attribute. If we look at our code here, we're just essentially attaching this data attribute of data render all true to the collection wrapper, which I've done right here. And then we enable pagination on the collection wrapper. So that's set right here. And then on the pagination itself, we enable the show page count. Now we can leave this display none class if we want to hide the pagination element altogether. But that's just going to render all of our items out on the published site. If you work with components in Webflow, it's pretty common to store the related CSS and JavaScript inside the component. This makes it really easy for anyone using that component in the future to find the related code. It also ensures that this code only goes on pages that are actually using the component. But ideally, it would be great if the CSS was actually in the head and this JS was right before the closing body tag for page speed. And also that if we use the same component multiple times on one page, it would be great if this CSS and JS was only included once for the entire page instead of once for each component. Now, the way we can do this is on this CSS style attribute, I added this attribute of data code move. And on this JavaScript tag, I've added the same attribute of data code move. And then I'll head over to my Notion here and I'll scroll down to this code here for code move. And I'll just copy this over. And so I'll head over to my worker and I'm going to add this code in here. And I'll go ahead and hit deploy. So basically it's going to move anything with a data code move attribute that's a style tag up to the head, anything with a data code move attribute and a script tag down to the closing body tag. And it's going to remove those attributes once it's finished. And it'll also ensure there's only one of each of these on the page. And all of this will be served to the correct way to our user right from the start. So if I check out this subdomain version, so this is just the version where our worker is not running, we'll notice that we just have the CSS embed right here inside of the slider with our CSS, and we have the JavaScript right here inside of the slider as well. But if we check out the main domain that has been run through our worker, and I just refresh here, we'll notice that all of my scripts here are down here right before the closing body tag, and those attributes have been removed from the script. We can also get Cloudflare to combine them all into one script tag if we want instead of having multiple, and we'll notice that all of the styles are right up here in the head, so they load even faster. And then in instances where there was multiple of these components on the page, it made sure I only had one of these style tags for that component type. So nothing is actually being repeated and the attributes are removed from there as well. So all of our code is right there in the right place, served to the user correctly on page load, but we're able to still store our code in a way that's really easy to manage inside Webflow. On my website here, I have this feature where a user can choose the location that they're from, and then that's saved in cookies. So from that point on, each page they visit and the nav links will all be different based on the location that they choose. And even sections on the homepage change based on their chosen location. But you'll notice a problem here when I refresh where you quickly see a flicker of the original location before it changes to the current location here. And it would be great if the website was just served in the correct state with the correct nav links to the user on page load with no like hidden links in the nav that they don't actually need. So I was able to do that with Cloudflare as well. Basically, any structure we want Cloudflare to change, anything about the HTML, we have complete control over that, and it can be changed from the server and just served the correct way to the user. I've even gone as far to do things like remove Webflow's jQuery from my site and use just my own custom components instead to really improve the page speed. And anything else we really want to control, we can work with Claude to control that just by using our proxy setup. So hopefully this gives you a good overview of how to use reverse proxies with Cloudflare and how you can really take control of your Webflow site using these methods.